Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Patrick Dugan Music. I wanted to give you an update on where I'm at since we last spoke. So I think my last update was a few months ago. I guess it was back around December or so. Anyways, so lots happened since then. So let me catch you up on where we're at. Some of you may have been following my story already, but if you're brand new to the channel, here's kind of where we're at. So about 2 years ago, I made the decision to kind of start my life over. I left Chicago. I came down here to Tennessee where I have some family. And there were a number of challenging issues I was kind of dealing with. One of which was I was kind of stuck in this kind of post-traumatic fight or flight mode. And it was hard for me to do much of anything. One, of course, because of things that had happened, but the second one is that I have an anxiety disorder, and I had made the decision to discontinue medication for that after a number of years of trying different things that, to be honest, didn't really work. But several things happen if you've been taking medication like that for a while and you stop. And one of those things is that you have to relearn all of your coping skills from scratch. Essentially, your brain doesn't really remember how to deal with stress or traumatic things anymore. So, it's really tough at first when you discontinue that medication, especially if you've been on it for a while. So I was dealing with both of those two things, and I was completely mentally blocked for a number of years, and I just couldn't create anything. Like, I couldn't be creative, I couldn't write a song. It was hard for me to do much of anything. My brain just couldn't think beyond like the fight or flight. So I make it down here to Tennessee, and I'm kind of in a mental fog dealing with all of that stuff. And I know I want to get back into music. I know that that's what I want to do with my life, but I'm not quite sure, how I'm going to start or where I should go or what that's going to look like or anything. So I'm kind of playing around with some of those ideas, and I start making some cover song videos to put up on YouTube. Right around this time, I have this kind of transformative experience with this person that I meet. And for some unknown reason, somehow just like talking to her, spending a little bit of time, having some conversations with her, with this person, is sort of like the missing link that I had been searching for. I don't know if it was her specifically or just the timing of the situation, but somehow the mental blocks that had been in place for years suddenly start to open. And I start to get some of my creativity back. And this is huge for me because I hadn't been able to create anything for a long time. So suddenly the creative juices start flowing again. I start making some videos. I start doing some cover songs. I start playing around with YouTube. Start looking at these different things. Fast forward about a year or so, and I had made nearly 100 or so videos for YouTube, and I had designed and created my first online guitar course. But I didn't really understand how to sell or market the course, so my first several attempts at trying to roll that out didn't go so well. But the good news was that I was able to start writing original songs again, and I put a few instrumentals up on Spotify. But one of my biggest achievements creatively was writing the song Come See Me Again. Because instrumental songs are cool and all, but it actually takes a lot more creativity to try and write a meaningful song with lyrics. And that was something I had struggled with in the past as a songwriter. So being able to write that song and plan out the music video, hire the production crew, and make it all happen was a really big deal for me. Because that was something that I didn't know that I would be able to do again. I wasn't able to write songs for a long time. So that was kind of a game changer. I then hired Taylor Swift's former manager, Rick Barker, who's like a music marketing guru at this point, to sort of help me get on the right track, especially with the course. And that's what I spent pretty much all of December and January doing. I completely redesigned and built a new website from scratch. Did it all myself. I learned how to build funnels and implement automated email marketing. I also learned how to design, optimize, and manage running ads on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, things like that. So I spent pretty much all of December and January doing that. But my sister and I went to this Dolly Parton themed disco dance party on New Year's Eve. And we both got this, we both got sick. We caught this like nasty kind of virus. It wasn't COVID, but pretty much all of January I was really sick with this thing. But the silver lining to that is that while I was sick, I was able to write 3 new songs. So that kind of brings us up to the present moment, more or less. And at this point, I have a new website completely redesigned. I've relaunched my guitar course, and I have a bunch of new original songs to release this year that I'm feeling really excited about. My next single I actually wrote about a year ago. It's going to be coming out maybe in about a month or so. It's called Here's to You.
And here's to you, you're so kind. I'll give to you all my time, and if peace be true.
Then after that, the next song I'm going to release is probably going to be called Let It Go. And there's a few more that I'm working on, including an old song from Harlan Flow, one of my previous bands, that is a duet with me and the singer from that band named Amanda Riva. So that's going to be really cool. Also in the works is there's a collaboration I did with an Italian producer, and we did a remix. It's kind of like an electronic dance music remix of Come See Me Again. It actually came out pretty cool, at least I think so. So that's going to be coming out at some point this year. And some other cool songs as well. So I kind of spent the last 2 years kind of planning and strategizing and building infrastructure and learning the skills that I need and relearning some skills that I had forgotten, and trying to get myself back in shape mentally, physically, you get back in shape on the guitar, get my creativity flowing. So everything has kind of been, I've been laying the groundwork for this year. So what I'm trying to say is, this is it. This is the year, this is the make it or break it year for me. I need to take everything that I've been building and learning and working towards and put it into action this year. And so in order for my plan to work, here's what I need to do. Okay, so starting with the guitar course, I need to enroll 1,000 people, and I need to start building and designing the next course and hopefully finish it and roll it out before the end of the year. Now, it would be great if I could actually design and produce 2 courses this year instead of just the one. It took me about 6 months to do the first course. However, I didn't really know what I was doing yet, so I'm thinking that I can probably do the second course, the follow-up course, in maybe 3 or 4 months. Maybe if I do 2 courses at the same time, I could get them both done in maybe 6 months if I sort of batch the production. So there's the first thing. The second thing is that I need to continue releasing original music, but the music has to actually get better. So not only do I have to release more songs, but my songwriting also has to improve. The songs need to get a little bit better as I continue releasing them. The third thing that needs to happen is I need to grow my fan base across all of my social media platforms more. I need to implement a strategy that allows me to be present, omnipresent almost, on all of these different platforms. and I need to be able to post content and engage people across all of these platforms. So my hope is to double those numbers by the end of the year. In addition to that, on a personal level, I have to continue with my exercise meditation routines and continue trying to better myself personally. Because as I've said in a previous video, I don't really have control over most circumstances, but I have control over myself, and and one of the things I can do is make myself stronger and more resilient, and that helps me manage all of this other stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do. So that's it. It sounds like a tall order, and it is a tall order. However, I'm well positioned to do every single one of those things. I'm finally at the point where I have all of the infrastructure, I have all of the resources, I have the knowledge, I have the experience, and I have the physical and mental health to be able to put it all together. And while that might sound like a crazy amount of things to do, I at least have comfort in the fact that nothing is going to be harder than the stuff that I already did. Like all of this kind of stuff is mostly kind of like planning ahead and strategizing and busy work and, applying yourself and stuff, which is time consuming and it is tedious and it takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of effort. However, to me, overcoming some of the stuff that I was previously struggling with seems far more challenging than doing this, if that makes sense. Someone once told me that the hardest challenge that anyone will face in life is overcoming themselves. And while there are plenty of circumstances and external forces that are out of your control, sometimes you're being affected by those and you cannot control them, that's a little bit of a different thing. But extenuating circumstances aside, part of what I've learned by sort of being on this journey of self-improvement and self-discovery is that there's a lot there. Not only is there a lot of stuff that you may need to work on, and a lot of things that you don't know, that you didn't know that you didn't know, that you then have to learn or relearn. So there's that whole part of it. But the process of going through that and examining some of that stuff and challenging your own experiences, beliefs, insecurities, resentments, likes, dislikes, finding a way to get around that kind of stuff. To me, that's sort of like the ultimate thing. If you can overcome yourself and your fears and your insecurities and, all of the things that you might tell yourself, like, I'm not good enough, or this is silly, or, people aren't going to like this, or who am I kidding, or any of those negative self-talk things. If you're able to get over that, the rest of it's pretty damn easy, right? The hardest part is usually in your head. It's usually not the thing itself which is most difficult. It's usually your anticipation of doing the thing that stresses you out. Or it's the indecision, or the I don't know what to do next, or I don't know how to solve this, or getting overwhelmed or frustrated. Like, those are the things that are holding people back. It's not the busy work, The busy work is actually pretty easy when you take away all of the emotional stuff you're attaching to it. Anyways, that's where I'm trying to go this year. That's what I'm trying to do. So go ahead and place your bets. But I know that I can absolutely do this, and I can't wait for the next update video where I get to tell you about all the progress. Yeah. But in the meantime, I'm going to take this guy for a hike up on Roan Mountain, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for supporting Patrick Dugan Music.